Hi everybody, how you doing there? If you would, from please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. So the next movie I'm going to be reviewing for you is Disney's Snow White, the live action reimagining of the classic Snow White. Um, I've seen the classic Snow White film a lot, like quite a bit. So um, I don't know if I was really looking forward to this one, but I also have I do have a confession. However, um, so this is actually my first live action Disney remake ever. Like seriously, I haven't seen any of the Disney live action remakes. I've actively avoided all of them. So this is actually my very first one. Um, yeah, I haven't seen Corella. I haven't seen any of them. So this is, like I said, this is the first one I've ever seen. Uh, so so what do I think about it? Well, let's get into the details. So this is again Disney Snow White. Uh, Stars Gal Gadot as the evil queen, of course, and then you have Rachel Ziegler as Snow White. Um, Man, so before this movie even came out, there was just nothing but controversy surrounding this movie, like nothing but controversy, and it didn't help. uh, it honestly, some of the reports that was coming out from Disney, it didn't really help the film stray away from those controversies. This is one where I usually don't care for controversy too much because usually it's people who go to see these movies or whatever, they make up those controversies and they have that preconceived notion before the movie even drops. And it already has that bad stigma on it. This is a movie where I can honestly say Disney and the main actress kind of brought this on themselves with the controversy. Um, yeah, I don't know if you guys know about it. Um, you had your main star Rachel Ziegler trashing the original, just giving the most horrible takes on the original, just to try to be controversial. I didn't understand why she was doing that, and I didn't really understand how that was supposed to drive people to the movie. But like, I guess if you're not really paying attention to the Rachel Ziegler controversy, you don't really care. You're just gonna probably take your kids to go see, the live action, Snow White movie. And then there was the controversy with the dwarves. Now that's what I was looking at because I wasn't really paying attention to it. The controversy afterward, I was like, man, how are they gonna do the dwarves in this movie? I didn't have a problem with it. I see what they did. They're CG, so I was like, okay, that's fine. They CG the dwarves. Um, and they kept their same personality, so I thought that was kind of cool too. Um, so this movie, uh, I went in with hardly any prior knowledge. I didn't know who the director was. I didn't know how this was going to play out. Like I said, I just heard like controversies. I saw screenshots of these these different like this diverse cast, and it seemed like that was going to be the seven dwarves. I'm like, man, don't let that be the seven dwarves. Please don't. But they didn't do that, so thankfully they didn't do that. So this is a like I said, this is a live action reimagining. If you know the original story of Snow White, uh, and I don't know, like this one, I a lot of people are trashing this movie. uh I'm gonna be honest. did like the sets of the movie. I thought, especially like the musicals, and now like the way like it looked all colorful and stuff at the beginning. Uh, um, Rachel Ziegler, I didn't mind her Snow White. I didn't really mind Gal Gadot. Actually looked pretty good as the evil queen. Um, although I saw people trashing her acting. Her acting to me was, it was very hit or miss. Like there's times where I was like, okay, she got some of the menacing parts down. I was like, okay, she's being menacing um and evil, but there's times where um I thought she did okay with the dance numbers too, but I don't know. Sometimes her acting was a little. I was like, ooh, okay, I kind of see what people are talking about. There was moments too where I was like, ooh, okay, yeah, yeah. Because they said she didn't fit the role. I don't know. I'm kind of up and down with that. I don't know if she fit the role or not, but I was indifferent on it. It was hit or miss. Um, I think my biggest problem with this movie is um uh first we're going to get to the director here in a second. The director caught me off guard. I was like, you know what, I see why this movie turned out the way it turned out. uh so we'll get to that. I'm not a big fan of this director, but not as a person. I don't really know him. Like I don't. He's not a controversial type or anything. I've just never been the biggest fan of his movies. Um. So, but anyway, yeah, my biggest issue with this movie is uh you took something that was a short, simple story of Snow White, and you stretch it out to damn near a 2 hour film. Why does this movie have to be a 2 hour film? I don't understand it. There was times where I was sitting there and I was like, man, this feels like it is stretched out. I was like, I don't even remember the original Snow White being this long. Like, and then I looked at it and see how long it was. The movie's an hour and 53 minutes. That's a damn shame. This movie should not be a 2 hour film. Um, because it felt long. It felt longer than that. It was just like there were just moments where the movie just felt padded out for no reason. Snow White is not a very complex story. Like we're not telling an epic here. Okay, it's Snow White. Um, and I'm not, and it's not to bash the original Snow White, because that was a classic. Um, what made Snow White work the original was the music, yes. They even kind of do some remix, like renditions of the original songs, like Whistle While You Work, Hi Ho. Uh but I like this it just feels like the parts that weren't a part of the original Snow White, it's like they just took it and they kind of added stuff to it to make it longer. There was moments of this where it kind of felt to me like Snow White and the Huntsman in some ways. Uh, and I don't know if that's a good thing, because Snow White and the Huntsman it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I gotta go see Snow White and the Huntsman again. And I just refused to watch the sequel. I don't even care if Charlize Theron was in it. I really watched it because I liked how she looked as the evil queen, but I refuse to watch that second one. So, but this movie, I don't know. It just felt like one of those movies where they took an old property and they padded it out to make it longer, because a lot of and then you not only pad it out and you make it longer, but a lot of those the things you pad it out with are just not very interesting. There's times where I got a little bored watching it, and then there was parts where it was like, okay, yeah, I remember this from the original. I remember that from the original. Uh, Rachel Ziegler, she's not bad as Snow White. I mean, it's not a performance where you're like, well, you know, she's, really transcending her acting. It's Snow White. It's she does what she's supposed to do. So it's fine there. Um, the guy who plays, he's basically Prince Charming in here. Uh, his name is Jonathan. I don't know who is it. Andrew Burnett, is that guy's name? Andrew Burnett. So Andrew Burnett, he plays this guy named Jonathan, and AKA he's Prince Charming in here. And I don't know. I mean, he's fine. This turns into, so this is where I go into the director. So the director of this movie is Mark Webb. If y'all know who Mark Webb is, he directed 500 Days of Summer, which and he directed the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I hated both. I hated the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with a passion. I do not like that movie. The first one was all right. And this just felt like, I don't know, like Mark Webb. My problem with him, this is where the director comes in, because Mark Webb, he's like his movies to me are just like, his directing at times, it's kind of bland, man. Like it's bland. Like he does like these really sappy like romance type movies, and this kind of felt the same way too. It goes into like really sappy romance. Um, but when I saw he directed, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. Why I'm not really caring for this as much as I had hoped to. Um, yeah, I don't know. The only thing I will give this movie is I liked I liked moments of it. There's moments where I was like, okay, this could actually be, this could be better, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not upset about it. Um, so it's a musical. I mean, a lot of Disney classics were musicals. So um, the music in here is fine. There were some musicals in here. There was some music I was like, this is cool. Because they throw some new music in here too that wasn't in the original. Uh, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go with a low recommend on this one. I just think, again, just padding for padding's sake, to make a short, good classic a 2 hour film. No. Uh, yeah, this is gonna be a low recommend. I was close to a do not recommend, but the more I sat there and I marinated on the movie and thought about it, I was like, you know what, it wasn't terrible. And then I always like the doors too. The doors are my favorite parts of Snow White, and I thought they did a really good job on the doors too. So um yeah, so this is um yeah, this is gonna be a low recommend for me. I don't think it's the worst thing I've seen. I've seen worse movies this year, so yeah, there you have it. So, what did you think about Snow White 2025, the live action reimagining? Uh, Again, comment in the comment section and tell me what you thought about the movie. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.